We're now here with the Prince of Wales Challenge Cup. This is intermediate quadruple sculls between Skirl of the Netherlands on the Berkshire Station and Reading University on the Buckinghamshire Station, and away they go. And this is going to be a great matchup for some of the best student rowing, student sculling, in fact, I should say, on the right-hand side of your picture. Reading just down the road from here, and a great outfit from them going up against some of the best that the Netherlands have to offer in scull. And Grace, you've travelled to this regatta as an international crew. Tell me a little bit about, you know, how special that is, what that journey's like.
It's incredibly special. I think it's one of the very few regattas where you get to really enjoy the on-water and the off-water side. And as a rower, it's funny, you can turn up to this regatta where the water's never ideal. You've got all the spectator crews going up and down the side, you're getting washed out, there's so many things that go against it, but for some reason it's just so much fun. And I think it just shows the novelty of being able to compete against other crews from all over the world, but also have people on the bank that are so dressed up cheering for you. And I loved it. It's my favourite time.
Oh, and there's plenty of those for Skirl. I'm sure they're loving it. I've seen loads of Skirl supporters out here on the bank in their blazers. And we've had a change of leader. Reading led off the end of the island in those early stages. This crew of Josh Lyon, Ryan Robson, Robert Collin and Matthew Long, who's come back into this crew and strengthened it since their performances earlier in the season, are going head-to-head with a crew that actually won this event back in 2018, one of the last kind of international challenges that really took on the Prince of Wales and took it to Leander, who have been hot favourites across the years in the Prince of Wales. So Reading, a few issues with their steering there, and you know, it's a stroke-steered boat, so in the stroke seat for Reading it is Matthew Long. And perhaps, do you think, Grace, coming into a crew, then having to master stroking, steering and trying to get cohesion with everyone, that's a very tricky job for Matthew Long to try and establish.
Yeah, it's a lot to do, and I think especially in a course like this where it's so important, like obviously you can normally train on bigger stretches of water and you have that room for error, but I always thought, I was like, I never stroke boats or steered boats, so I was just like, if you have to stroke it and you have to steer it, you've got a lot of jobs. But for me, that was always the people I was rowing with, so I was lucky.
Well, yeah, it's a lot, and if you've never done this before and you're new to rowing, that guy there setting the rhythm in that Reading crew nearest to you at the front of the boat, closest to us, he's got a little wire on his foot plate. He is the one in charge of moving that rudder, and so he's had to correct them back onto that Buckinghamshire Station whilst trying to set the rhythm in that boat. That is really tough stuff.
Yeah, and I think it might not look it from the outside, but when you have to do steering corrections as a rower, it's actually very tiring. So I think it would have taken quite a bit out of the crew, and it can sort of throw your rhythm again, and see that, yeah, they're struggling a little bit, and I wonder if they're just getting maybe sucked into the Dutch crew's wash a little bit or dragged in. But yeah, they've got that tendency to sort of drift into the middle a bit.
I can't see who's umpiring because they're all wrapped up in their waterproof, so I'm not sure who it is that will have to keep an eye on that. I'm squinting. I think it's Greg Searle, actually, in his first year of umpiring. I'm used to being in the commentary box with Greg Searle, but he's now in charge of those guys out there on the water, keeping them apart. Let's have a look at Skirl. I think, again, another favoured crew in this regatta. We're getting to this point, Friday, right? It's mostly quarterfinals today, where we've got favoured crew against favoured crew. Skirl, as I've already mentioned, won this event back in 2018, but they have also raced internationally this year. They raced at the Poznan World Cup that both you and I were at, Grace.
Yes.
And yeah, you can see that they're an international caliber crew. Let's talk a little bit about the way this boat's moving through the water.
They are. You can tell just the way, I think, especially the Dutch as a whole, they have such relaxation. I don't know how they do it, but they make rowing look easy. And you can see the bow, it's like got a little bit of a dip, but on a whole, you think about how much power these men are putting into the stroke. It's running very smoothly. They're doing it very simply, and they've got a nice, like, quite easy drop into the front, and then make it look easy out of the back.
So the quartet of Postma, Dirtswager, Harrigan and Sabban will be the ones to make it through to the semi-finals of the Prince of Wales Challenge Cup, and they got to take that down nice and easily there over the line. Reading University, always fierce competitors here in the Prince of Wales, but they won't be making the weekend, in inverted commas, in this event.